August 12 marks the annual celebration of International Youth Day. It is an international day of awareness, recognizing youth across the globe and empowering the world's youth to make positive contributions to their communities and nations. The world currently holds the largest generation of youth in the history. Young people represent hope for the future. However, they are more than just that. Good evening, one and all. Good evening. On international, I are of PRCC. Welcome.
Hi, fabulous evening it is. I think Akriti just lost her connection. Akriti, if you could just try once again. Okay, I think there is some technical errors, but it's a fabulous evening here, and I'm Rituparna Sharma. I'm just going to be taking over because there is some technical glitch with Aarti, and it's a fabulous day. We have, on this particular Youth Day, we have lots and lots to take. Firstly, lots to learn. For secondly, lot of insights coming up. Thirdly, it's always great when all of around 65 plus participants who are together for a common purpose, learning something new. So thank you so much for PRCI for organizing such an amazing event. And yes, we will be having a lot of people who will be coming up. But just before we begin, I would now request Dr. Swapna here to please take over and just give an introductory note. And then I'll be telling you about Dr. Sapna. Yes, Dr. Sapna, are you here with us? If you are here, please unmute yourself and take over, please.
Yeah, thank you one and all. Very good evening to all the participants, the members of PRCI, members of YCC who have assembled here to have a very great session on the very pertinent topic related to youth. Just to give you a brief about our PRCI and YCC activities, I'm very grateful to our mentor and the team members who thought that I would be able to give you a briefing about the activities. As we all know, Public Relations Council of India is a pan-India communication exchange forum which has its presence in more than 37 cities and towns in the country. This premier network has included public relations, corporate communication, media, academicians, advertising expertise, so who are all a part of this particular thing. Till date, PRCI has been able to organize more than 14 global communication sessions or conclaves, which has been spread across the country, which has happened in Jaipur, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Chandigarh, and recently we had it one in the month of March in 2020 in Bangalore. And as you all know, Young Communicators Club, that is YCC, is a student wing of PRCI, which galvanizes the young youth. The main target audience of this YCC is the youth who represents the vibrant team of the country. And the main purpose of YCC is to bring in all the youth, to motivate them, to mentor them, so that we can produce a very good number of youth who will be carrying forward the tradition of the country and also to become a good responsible citizens of the country. So we have been organizing a number of activities in the YCC at the college level, at the university level, also at the academic level also. Then promoted by PRCI, we also have the World Communicators Council, WCC, which aims to bring in together the communication professionals across the globe. And the main purpose here is to share the ideas and also have a very good networking among the working professionals to share their experience and expertise and overall to bring about a kind of changes in the humanity. YCC today has got its chapters across UAE, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and also wants to extend its wings to the future. And also in the coming days, we'll be extending our activities even in US, UK, Australia, as well as in Singapore. Though this COVID has posed a very important and a very struggle for us, but YCC and PRCI have been organizing a lot of activities on webinars in order to keep up with the pace of the activities happening across the professional. I thank the PRCI for bringing us together here to the very most important thing on the youth, and hopefully people will all enjoy this session. Thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sapna. It was amazing. Those 2 minutes was absolutely amazing. To all the viewers here, Dr. Sapna is an associate professor in the Department of Journalism from the University of Mysore. Wonderful to have you. Now it's time for us to listen to the empowering lady who's the national chairperson of the YCC, that is the Young Communicators Club. It's time for me to, ask Miss Geeta Shankar to unmute herself to give a short. I request you to speak for 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Rutu, and thanks for adding that adjective also. Anyway, it's lovely being with all of you. Good evening, all, and it gives me great pleasure to see you all on International Youth Day. For PRCI and YCC, nothing stops us from celebrating any day. Pre-COVID, COVID, post-COVID, we are always charged up, and our enthusiasm and passion is limitless. Well, as soon as we talk about the youth, the ideas that come to our mind is, a few bullet points: learning to connect, learning to navigate, learning to be productive, uniquely equipped to transform the society, and the generation we doubt. I'm bringing it only towards the end, okay? Well, the youth may be many, many things, but they may not be what you and me expect. They are totally different. They are the social generation. They are the founders of social media movement. They prefer to live in dense, diverse urban villages, and their social interactions maybe just outside their front door. They have been hard hit by the recent turbulence in the economy. They are dealing, my dear friends, with uncertain future, unemployment, disrupted education, and lots of challenges. But believe us, their zeal, optimism, and creativity is unparalleled to anything with a good educational level is going to help them for their potential success. Let us watch what the youth can be. How can they be? The power of influence. Well, the unique feature of this international webinar is it is an international webinar. And we have two of our participants from other countries. And the second unique feature, we have a combination of Generation X, Generation Y, or the millennial, or the digital natives, and also we have the Generation Z, the centennials, born with a tablet and a smartphone under their arms. So this is a unique feature of this International Youth Webinar, celebrating it on International Youth Day. Well, I would also like to introduce the moderators. Well, Miss Akriti, are you there? Yes, Akriti? Yes. Can you show yourself on the video? She's an assistant professor, media and mass communication, Graphic Era Hills University, Dehradun. Then the next moderator, Rutuparna Sharma, life coach. Life coach at this age, Rutu? Come on. Okay, an entrepreneur, a TEDx speaker, author, professor, and a dream chaser. How many dreams do you have? Okay, well, his life's purpose is win the world by love. Wow, that's amazing, Rutu. Okay, yeah. Then we have the Mr. Saurabh Jairam, who owns the Krateva Marketing Solution. I would like to call him as a young, angry boy, very creative, into social media marketing, digital marketing, event planning, and he is an event coordinator, and now he's a YCC event coordinator. It's lovely to have you, Saurabh, into the YCC, PRCI YCC family. So that's a short intro about all of them. Thank you so much. And this is Geeta Shankar handing over to the moderator.
It was fabulous. Thank you so much. I have plenty of dreams, and I'm sure today the dreams will increase listening to all of them here. To the audience here, we would like to keep this very, very exciting, and we would like to keep it very, very interactive as well. Unfortunately, on Zoom platform, you will not be able to interact, so you will be interacting on the chat box, right? So I want everybody, 75 plus people here on Zoom, plus I know there are a lot of people who are also watching on the Facebook group of PRCI. I want everybody to type super excited on chat box. Come on, let this be a very interactive session. I want this everyone to type super excited on chat box, and then let us begin with an amazing session that is going to be starting. Super excited. Lovely. First was Anushri. That was amazing. Next we have Geeta ma'am. Lovely. Come on. I want to see a lot of responses. 75. I want the energy to be very high. Youth represents energy, and I want the energy to be very high, and that's absolutely fabulous. Awesome. Superb. It's time for us to learn about the speakers as of now, and let us learn about the speakers, who they are, what they are, and the speakers themselves have prepared a special introduction to all of you all. Since all of you are super duper excited, I would like to now call upon the speakers only to introduce themselves. Speakers, over to you. Yes, speaker one.
Hi, I'm Dhriti. Nice to meet everyone. So we've actually decided to introduce each other, and today it gives me so much pleasure to share today's panel with Swastik Pandey, who's a young entrepreneur and an innovator. Having previously won the National Child Award for Exceptional Achievement, he's currently an engineering student at the Vivekananda College of Engineering and Technology in Puttur. His research and innovation has focused on plastic waste management and in effectively combat erosion. And as a student, and especially as a student of sustainable development myself, it gives me so much pleasure to share spaces and platforms with other members of our youth community like Swastik, who are committed in their educational endeavors and skills in building a more sustainable world for us to live in. And as a fun fact, to commemorate Swastik's interdisciplinary innovation, the MIT Lincoln Lab and the International Astronomical Union has named a planet after him.
Thank you, Dhriti, for the wonderful introduction. And myself, Swastik Padma, actually, and it's my yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. So I'd like to introduce our second speaker, our co-panelist, Miss Andrea Anthony. And Andrea Anthony is a soft skill trainer and a marketing professional and entrepreneur. She's from Bangalore, and one of my friend always says that don't seek job, create job like Steve Jobs. So that's pretty exciting, and I guess Andrea Anthony is a perfect example for that. And as she always wanted to start and own a business, she started the Amore hair and makeup artistry in the year 2019, and she says that creating employment to women who are carving a name for themselves, what drives her the best. And it's great to have Andrea Anthony in this webinar, and welcome you, ma'am.
Yes, I'd just like to interrupt. As every speaker is introduced, the audience can type welcome on chat box. We will keep this very interactive. Over to you, Andrea.
Thank you, Rutu, and thank you, Swastik, for the wonderful introduction. I'm honored to introduce Mr. Saurav Mukherjee. He's a professional turned social entrepreneur. He left his job in a US-based software firm and went on to launch Kolkata Society for Cultural Heritage. This is to promote sustainable development. His unique and rare empathy and appreciation of women led to realize that our society cannot develop without women being in a place of pride, right? So today, 154,000 women, handheld by the KSCH, are carrying, are earning like 5,000 to 15,000 per month. And Mr. Saurav Mukherjee, it's a pleasure to share this panel with you. Welcome.
Thank you, Andrea. Thanks a lot, Andrea, for introducing me with such wonderful words, actually. I have an honor to introduce Ms. Aarti Shilpakar from Nepal. She is a dynamic lecturer of multimedia and media technology. She has enormous experience in multimedia technologies like graphic designing, video and sound editing, VFX, and animations for more than a decade. Currently, she is associated with Shepherd College, Nepal's only college with a media technology degree, Animex Animation Academy, one of the leading animation academies in Nepal, and also she is like associated with WCC Nepal chapter as a treasurer. Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Aarti? Yeah.
I think Aarti just lost the connection. Let us, now welcome Father Vineet.
Yeah.
Yes, Geeta ma'am, you can, you wish to introduce?
No issues. Father Vineet, welcoming Dhruti, introducing Dhruti.
Yeah. Am I audible now? Hello, am I audible?
Absolutely audible, please.
Okay. I have the pleasure of introducing Dhriti Chakravarti to all of you. She is the only overseas panelist today, though there are two from abroad. One is from Nepal and Dhriti is the one from UK. But she is an Indian and she's a Bangalorean. At the young age of 21, she is already a global citizen, not just because she is doing her MA honors at the University of Edinburgh in the UK, but also because she has proudly represented India at various international forums in the past and even now. When she was just 19 years old, she represented India as a climate change leader at Los Angeles and was trained by none other than Al Gore, the former US Vice President. She was selected by the Stockholm Environment Institute as the only student observer at the UN Climate Change Conference held at Madrid in Spain. Well, it would be an understatement to call her a global citizen. A citizen always stays somewhere and then moves around, but not Dhriti. She has been a globetrotter. In her 21 years of life, she has globetrotted into 36 countries. And today, she has trotted onto our panel to be with us this evening. Warm welcome to you, Dhriti.
Thank you so much, Father Vineet. Those are very kind words.
Lovely. So I just checked that Aarti just logged in. So it was amazing to see all speakers introducing. So Aarti, we are just waiting for you to introduce Father to all of us. Aarti? Hi, Aarti? Okay. So just, a very small introduction about Father Vineet George. First of all, a wonderful human being. Secondly, he is the doctoral research scholar at IIT Hyderabad, also the vice principal at the Clarence College, and a human being who is definitely an inspiration to a lot of people as well. So welcome you, Father Vineet George. It's amazing to have all the six of you at this panel. So if all of you, the people here are enjoying, almost 80 people now here with me, I want you to type on chat box again these two simple letters, that is SE, which actually means super excited, right? Because I am going to be shooting some of the questions to all the six panelists today, and all the six panelists will be answering some of the questions, which is very, very relevant and also important for all of us as well. So I want everybody to type SE on chat box so that I get to know that all of you all are with me. Superb. I want the energy high. This is how we keep the energy high. High. Come on. I want everybody to type SE.
Rutu,
yes.
Father Vineet has to be introduced fully. I just have a few points. Can I do that introduction?
Definitely, ma'am.
Yeah, he needs to have justice. Yeah.
Yes.
Father Vineet currently is pursuing his PhD from IIT Hyderabad. And he's a management educator and researcher with a unique blend of corporate and academic experience ranging for nearly 18 years. In the past, he's worked with renowned private and public sector like Dell Computers, General Electric, Deccan Chronicle, and Power Grid Corporation of India. As a NET, net qualified gold medalist postgraduate with an MPhil in management, he's currently a visiting professor at Symbiosis International University, Pune, and Aravalli Institute of Management, Bangalore. That's about Father Vineet. Yeah, thank
you,
you.
ma'am. Thank you for doing justice.
That's that's absolutely lovely. Thank you so much, Geeta ma'am, for your constant support and for always being there. Right. So, firstly, now it's the time where I take over to ask all of you a few questions, and all the audience are super excited here. We saw a lot of SEs that came. That means super excited. So, firstly, let me pick one person and ask one question that I have prepared. Firstly, I would like to bring on Saurav on the spotlight video. So, Saurav, my first question to you is, so basically I want you to comment on the future of youth in community based services, right? So I want you to comment on the future of youth in community based services, understanding that you are the director of Kolkata Society for Cultural Heritage. Definitely you would have spoken a lot, and today's topic will be centered mostly on youth because of the youth day. So, right, so Saurav, my first question to you, I want you to comment over this, please.
Yes, thank you too. The question is very prompt and very sharp actually. So the thing is yes, we are doing this social enterprising for last 10 years actually, and we have 124 employees under our 4 different brands, and most of them I just like to add out of 124, 112 people are between the age bracket of 25 to 34. So the thing is just after the pandemic, all migrant workers lost their jobs, and also the agricultural workers like the farmers, they are also struggling to face the solution of the problem is to create the sustainable livelihood generating models, and we need to create these models in a very multiple diagram scenarios, different multiple diagram scenarios. So, and if we could create multiple community-led developmental models to involve everybody from the community, then only we can assure the empowerment as a whole. So if we could identify youth as a leader, then we can assure the future of the project, we can assure the future of the society as well. And different government schemes like PMKY, Skill India, NSDC, they are also focusing on youth empowerment only. Like they are funding, they are giving their funds for the skill development for the youth only. So yeah, that's it. So that is why I just think youth is the future of the community led development any developmental models.
Great, awesome. So all you got to say is there is a lot of scope, and definitely
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. And definitely being youthful is all about how youthful we are at our heart, right? That's amazing. So my next question is for Father Vineet. I would like to the admin to bring Father Vineet on the spotlight, and the question for you is something that every student here would be having, right? There is a lot of today you will notice that there is a lot of parental pressure that is coming up, correct? Being the vice principal yourself, you will see that parents have a lot of expectation. They want their child to be excellent in everything, and this pressure of parent, this pressure of parent, which is they have on their children, would some way or the other way cause some tension in all of these things. Now my question is, during all of these situations, how do you want the youth to be always constantly motivated? Number one. And number two, how do you want them to face their parents? So yes, Father Vineet, I would like you to throw some light.
Thank you, Ritu, for this beautiful question. See, in life, we have many sources of motivation. It could be an intrinsic motivation which comes from within, or we look for motivation from outside, from our friends, from our parents, or even from some things which we want to achieve in life. So which keeps motivated. Now, some life experiences are there which will take the youth up in their life, and some negative or bitter experiences will make the youth feel low. Often what we wrongly understand as motivation is actually a false sense of confidence. Now, confidence is a very good word. We always use it so often. We want people to be self-confident. But then why am I saying that there is a false sense of confidence when it comes to the youth in terms of motivation? Now, why anybody needs confidence is when clarity is missing. For example, if I have to give a stage performance, okay, and instead of feeling good about it, if I start feeling negative about it, fearful about it, stressed about it, then that means I don't know, I don't have clarity of the fact that if I do well on the stage, I'm going to receive applause, I'm going to receive appreciation, going to receive popularity, I'm going to be successful. Okay. And so if that feeling overrides the negativities, then surely I'll be doing well. I'll be not only preparing well for the stage performance, but also performing well on the stage on the D-Day. So that clarity, if it is there about what you can do and what you need to do that, okay, the preparation that has to go into it, the hard work, the sincerity, the commitment which has to go into it will keep you motivated, provided you are aware, constantly aware that if I do well, I'm going to get praise and applause and love and appreciation. These are basic human needs which everybody wants in their lives. Okay, so once the youth is clear about it, it will be very easy to go ahead and have motivation in one's life. Now, where there is clarity, one does not need confidence. Now, if I am asked to walk through a pathway which is well lit, even during the night time, I don't feel afraid because I'm confident. I know what is there. But if I'm asked to walk through the same path when there is no light there, I am so afraid because I don't know what is there on the path. I don't know whether I'll stumble and fall. I don't know who is waiting there to harm me. So if you have clarity, you will have a very bright pathway and nothing will daunt you. Now, the lack of confidence is due to the lack of clarity of what lies in the dark path. And if you do not try to bring clarity in our lives, our confidence levels will always remain low. So that is what I feel, that today's youth must have that clarity, and elders, parents must help them to get that clarity. Thank you, Ritu.
That's amazing, Father. Thank you so much for throwing light on the same things. And I want everybody in the audience to be interactive. I want you to type gold because that was super valuable. Type gold on chat box, which means that was a golden point. Come on, I want lots and lots of introduction. As I next bring on the next speaker, where I will be putting them on spotlight, that is Dhruti Chakravarti. I don't know who is the youngest here, Dhruti or Swastik Padma, right? Or let us see who's... So now I would like to bring upon Dhruti Chakravarti on the spotlight video, where I have a very important question. So you have been studying abroad, and I want to ask you one simple question, which many of us want to know about the same thing as well. So the question I have for you is, one of the things that everybody concentrate, or maybe two important things everybody as youth will want is, one is employment, two is education. Let us come to employment. Right. So the question is, how can we better our employment rates, that is in our country? That is mostly I want to know technically, right? That is technically, how can we be better? Since you have been studying abroad, you will have a lot of experience with regards to the same. Can you, Dhruti, please throw some light on the same by unmuting?
Thank you so much for that question, Ritu. So I think the ways in which our education for sustainable development can be addressed in teaching and learning are amongst the most urgent challenges for our modern educational system. So it isn't just sort of equipping students and equipping the next generation with better technical and vocational skills to help improve their employability rates and employability challenges. But I think it requires an entire culture of change, an entire culture of transformation to the way we look at education as a skill. Are we looking at it as something that we hold ourselves with for the rest of our lives, or are we looking at it as just one of those quotas that we have to tick off in order to receive better financial status, to receive better employability chances? And moreover, that burden shouldn't just be on the student, because again, it comes from an entire generation, it comes from intergenerational dialogue, it comes from the entire system that we exist in, whether it's the government sort of pushing forward for better like employability policies, or whether it's universities completely disbanding our rote learning systems, whether it's the recent educational policy that pushes for more inclusivity. I think the technical skills are important. I can say that, yes, effective communication is important, digital skills are important, green skills are important. But if you don't have a strong value set that helps you understand what you want to do with these skills, then it becomes quite redundant.
That's awesome. So basically, what you are trying to say is, along with technicalities, we also need to have a sense of purpose. Thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing. So next, I would like to bring on another young person whom I just mentioned on the spotlight video, Mr. Swastik Padma. For your young achievements, I have a super exciting question. Lovely. I love that. Response from one person who just typed gold there. So I want more golds to come. Right, today we'll be all, as this meeting ends, we all will be the richest persons, right, with lots of gold, gold, gold that's coming, right? Yes, young leader, I see you with beautiful hairstyle there, right? So I have a question for you now. Being a great leader, you say, yes, you are a great leader. So I want you to ask, what is that one quality that is required for us to be a great leader, right? And what do you think is one of the necessities as individuals that we need to be having to achieve whatever it is? Yes, if you could throw some light on leadership, Swastik Padma.
So coming to the leadership, I personally believe that youth can be a like wonderful leaders, because generally we speak about generation gap, the gap between the previous generation and the next upcoming generation. I guess we as a youth can bridge the gap between these two generations, because we have that power to influence our previous generation, our elder generation, as well as our younger generation, by what we do, or what are the by the various things what we do. We can effectively bridge that gap, and thus I guess youth can make a perfect candidate for the leaders. And I guess I just I guess I just answered your question. Am I?
Superb, superb. I'll keep on coming you with keep on coming and asking you more questions about this. But really, man, I'm so proud, happy, everything about your achievements. I really wish you go to heights. Right. So now,
thank you so much.
You will see that in great events there will be, where times when we need to. Before I go on to the next questions, what I was trying to say is I would now like to hand it over to Geeta ma'am. That is, we'll take a short break from these questions because there is something important that Geeta ma'am has to announce. Geeta ma'am, I want you to come on the spotlight to just fill in, so one of the most important thing that was
yeah.
Yes,
this webinar is really going very interesting, and we have lots of distinguished guests with us today. Very happy to welcome Mr. Naresh Kumar, General Manager, Power Grid and Chairman of Delhi PR Society. And then we have Mr. Daundial, Advisor, PRCI, New Delhi. Mr. Biswajit Das, Kolkata Chapter, Public Relation Council of India, he's heading it, and Ms. Radha from World Communicator Council, Nepal, and most of our friends who have come here. Oh, thank you, Rutu. Thank you, and please continue.
Lovely. That was absolutely awesome. So everybody on the chat box, when people were introduced, I wanted you to type welcome. Come on, this is a very interactive session. This is how we interact. Come on, I want to see 75 welcomes to all of them, as I would like to bring upon Andrea, right, on this spotlight video. And Andrea, I have a super duper question for you, right? So this is something where, we all, at least, many people here will be having this dream of being an entrepreneur. Yes? Yes. So by being an entrepreneur yourself, right, I have this question. Yes, we all make mistakes, right? We have learned, and we do learn from our mistakes. And a very personal question I want to ask you, right? What are some of the mistakes that you wish that you could have avoided when you went on this journey? Right? What are some of the mistakes that you wish you could have avoided? You have a beautiful smile. Yes, I would want you to take over.
Thank you, Rutu. Thank you. Okay. Before embarking on this journey, I actually made a few mistakes from which I learned that helped me on this journey. To start with, I wish I weren't so afraid to ask for what I thought I deserved. And usually I find that most of us women don't think that we deserve that. And also, I wish I were more assertive when it came to something as simple as a negotiation, even. And this is more personal, what I'm going to say next. I grew up in an environment where I viewed women as competition. And I think a lot of women can relate with that particular idea. And today I have obviously learned from that. I collaborate with women, I work with women, and it's incredible how much I have grown and learned since. And I think these are the few of the mistakes that I can think of at the top of my head right now. Yeah. Thank you, Ritu. Yeah.
Superb. I'll keep on coming and asking you a lot of questions. Right. Now we have one person left. That is Aarti. Aarti, I wish you, I want you to come on spotlight, and I want you to answer me
Okay.
one important question that I'm going to be asking you. We all learnt about your profession. Number one, how challenging is your
Okay.
profession? See, right? So introduce to people, for people who just joined, about your profession. Tell about your challenges. And the most important question I want to ask you is, which many of them have many definitions. But according to you, Aarti, what is success? So three questions for you.
Okay.
And I want answers like rapid fire. Number one is basically about you, your profession. How challenging is your profession? And number three, what is success to you? Yes, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Ritu, for the question. This is a very interesting one. Sorry that I joined lately because of some power fluctuations over here. Like, how challenging is my profession? Actually, my profession is very challenging, that I am a multimedia specialist and I teach masters and bachelor level students. Yes, this job is very much challenging to me, as I have to be prepared for it every day. Like, teaching is not an easy job, especially to this level of students that I deal with. And also, as my subject is a bit technical, I have to keep updating myself. Nowadays you have every answer in Google and YouTube. So students do so much of research work these days. So to answer all of their questions, their queries, also I should be alert every day and update myself every day. So this job, this profession is very challenging, and maybe because of my experience, as I am experienced in this field for more than a decade. So because of that also, my chances are better to make them happy, make them more happy with my teachings. So I
Awesome.
think
Now coming to question. In one
yes,
word, I
yes.
want you to answer. What is success to you?
Okay.
One word.
Okay, so for me, success, I always feel this as the most important characteristic that you should have to be successful in your life is a sense of responsibility.
Super.
Because if you are responsible, can I explain a few more lines?
No, because we are running out of time. I will get back to you with
Okay,
lots more questions. A sense of responsibility
okay,
is what
sure.
you said. Lovely. So for the
Yes, yes,
first
yes.
round, I've asked all the six of them a few important questions. If you think that you had a lot of value, I want you to type SV, which actually means super value is what you had. Let me see, out of 80 plus participants here, plus also on Facebook, we have a team who's also monitoring things on Facebook. I want you to type SV on chat box or SV on comments, so that I get to know that all of you all are with me. Let us understand. Superb. So 1, 2, 3. Come on. I want it to keep coming. Let me see how many people. Lovely. Out of 75, I think all the 6 panelists here have done a lot of justice, because a lot of SVs are coming. Don't worry, in the round number 2, I have more tough and technical questions coming to all of you all, based on whatever you answered. Right? So on the round number 2, I wish, the panelists, this is not like a Kaun Banega Crorepati where I'm asking you questions and I want responses immediately. So in the round number 2, I wish all the panelists, keep the answer very short and simple, because, we can learn more from you is the only point. Right. So the first question now will go to Father Vineet, because a very interesting conversation is what we had with regards to parental motivation and all of these things. I would like the team to bring Father Vineet on spotlight video. And Father Vineet, my question for you is regarding one simple thing. Right. So people here in the audience, I'm sure many people, youth here, will want to know about this particular thing. If you agree with me, type agree on chat box. One of the most conflicting things we hear today about is about generation gap. Right? We actually feel many of the times what we like is something that our parents also dislike. So regarding generation gap is what we want to know. I want everybody in the audience to type agree if you want to listen more about the same thing. Now, Father, the question to you is about generation gap, right? What do you think that we as youth can do to get easily connected to our elders. One of the things is, with parents only we have conflicts, with grandparents we have good connection. Correct. So it's something that it is very difficult for us to understand. And you see that in the chat box also we have a lot of people who are typing agree. Yes, Father, I want you to throw some light on generation gap. What is it that we can do to get easily connected? And remember, please keep the answer very, very short.
Yeah. Thank you, Ritu, for that wonderful question once more. See, generation gap is a very intriguing thing for me because it is a problem that is faced by every generation. If you ask your parents, they will say they also had generation problem with their parents. So this is a perennial problem, age after age, and generation after generation. This problem is getting carried forward, and it is intriguing that this problem remains despite the advancement we have made and the solutions we have found for many other problems in life. Okay, man wanted to fly, he invented, the Wright brothers invented the aeroplane. Man wanted to go to moon, that also is achieved. But then man is not able to solve this problem of generation gap. Now, our parents, out of their experience in life, tell us not to repeat the mistakes that they committed during their lives. But ironically, the same advice will be carried forward by us to our children in the next generation. Therefore, there is no solution that I can give you about this age-old and perennial problem which is getting carried forward generation to generation. However, what I can say is that the youth has to be empathetic, understand from the parents' point of view because of their sense of love, sense of understanding better than you, and also a sense of protectionism. They want you to avoid certain things and to do certain things. So that is what is the mind of the parents, which the youth should understand and be empathetic about. And they must also understand that they too will be offering the same advices to their children later in life. So I think the best way to deal with this situation is to do what we call in management a cost benefit analysis. Okay, the youth has to evaluate what is the price they have to pay if they have to continue with their line of thought. What is the price they have to pay if they have to switch over to their parental line of thought? Okay, many a times the trade-off may be very small or maybe very big. Okay, the price that you have to pay will be probably displeasing your parents for a little while or displeasing your parents forever, hurting your parents for a little while, hurting your parents forever, alienating your parents for a little while or forever. So that trade-off is always there. You have to decide as an individual whether you want to go ahead with what you have planned or you want to listen to and be docile to your parents at that point of your life. Now, one thing is there which I can give you an example. Once you go to a shopping mall and you see a very good dress over there, you will open your purse and see how much you have to spend for that dress. If the dress is beyond your budget, you will not buy it. Or even if you can afford the dress and if you have to sacrifice other things in order to get this dress, you will have to make a decision whether you will sacrifice other things or you go for this dress. Similarly, when the parents tell you something, you will have to do that cost benefit analysis, whether you want to listen to them or you want to listen to yourself and go ahead. But the trade-off, you have always to see whether it's a long-term loss which you will suffer because of a decision, or it will be a small-term, misunderstanding which you can cover up by being successful, by proving them wrong, by doing things your own way and becoming successful in life. That is what I feel the generation should do.
Super, Father Vinny. That's absolutely lovely. I want everybody in the audience to type PTY to Father Vinny. That only means that PTY means power to you for such an amazing answer. What you just said was just putting ourselves in the shoes of others so that, or parents, so that we can understand. That was absolutely lovely. Now I have another conflicting question. This is something that every youth would debate on, and I would like to bring Aarti on spotlight. Right, so being a professor as well, this is something that you would be facing. So let me ask the teacher itself. This is something that I want to ask you. One of the commonly used words today is this word called as bookish knowledge. It is not only important for us to have bookish knowledge, you also need to be very good practically, is what we hear. Now I want to ask you this question with regards to bookish knowledge. Do you think bookish knowledge is enough for us to lead practical life in today's world? Throw some light on this. Keep it very short and crisp. Yes, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you again for the question. This is a very interesting one, and as you have said, this is very commonly used nowadays. I think bookish knowledge is definitely not enough to lead a practical life because uh, they do not think. Like, yes, it might help to lead the life or give direction, but for professional development, one's character experiences play a vital role. Then just cracking final exams with good marks is not sufficient for us, definitely, because in this tough competition, if you want to go ahead, equivalent knowledge other than books is also required. So practical knowledge is must these days. Along with this, you must have excellent command over computer skills, technical skills. Okay, and I've read it somewhere. I'd like to share something that you cannot cross the ocean by just sitting on the shore. You need to take the plunge and get ahead. And for getting ahead, you must equip yourself with the necessary knowledge and skills. And I would say that students today, as I deal with lots of them, they need to enrich themselves in every arena. There is a big competition nowadays, and there should be a perfect mix of knowledge and skills. One should read a lot, I suggest that, and keep yourself skilled in every manner, whether it be technical knowledge, practical, and logical. So not only books, practical knowledge is also very important. I hope I answered you well. Ritu?
Lovely, Aarti. Some of the key takeaways that I had was, number one, you cannot cross a shore just by sitting on one edge. And number
Yes.
two, when you have the option of learning both practically and theoretically, why avoid? Right? Both of the
Yes.
things can add
Yes.
super value. So I want everybody, yes, there is a disturbance, Frederick. That's why, Mr. Frederick. So that is the reason I just summed it up. And I also loved some of the responses here on chat box from one Mr. Vinod Kumar and also from Mr. Sundaram Pillai. With regards to the previous question, lovely, keep this very interactive, and this is how we all love it, right? So with regards to Aarti as well, for at least the key takeaways and for a few of the beautiful statements she made, just type PTY on chat box so that I am here also making notes from all of them. So just type PTY because it is of super value. Super. With regards to, I have one important question. So I want Mr. Swastik Padma to come on spotlight because I have a seriously important question. Right.
Okay.
So this is just getting like Kaun Banega Crorepati. First are the easy questions. Then as we go, we will be putting you into tougher questions because all of you are already Crorepatis. But it's just that we are going step by step. Right. So my next question is with regards to one conflicting thing that many people have. With regards to passion and profession. For great people, we always know that both of the things are same. Now, for many people, we cannot afford to, invest ourselves in passion. So, Swastik, I want you to comment on this particular thing, right?
Okay.
When both passion and profession are separate things for individual. For example, for me, roti kapda makan is a necessary, so one profession will pay me. But my passion might be in something else.
Yeah.
Now, if I am doing in both of the things, right? How to balance it? When both passion and profession are separate, how do I balance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is an interesting question because even I, like in the students, we have another set of problem, that is passion and studies. So, like if we can sum up like passion and profession over here, what I would like to say is, first try to bridge the gap between passion and profession. Make passion itself as your profession, because that is an option. Like we can make a passion as a profession. Like if I take an example of an artist, they can turn their passion into profession. If I take an example of musicians, they can turn their passion into profession. So you can try to turn your passion into profession. That's one thing. And the next thing I would like to say, on my personal experiences, try to connect between passion and profession. Like if I take example of myself, I like to call myself as an innovator by heart and entrepreneur by mind, because I believe that innovation is something that is emotionally connected. To try to find a solution for a problem that is connected to you by heart, And entrepreneurship is, it's connected to your heart, but it's moreover like financing. It's moreover like running. It's kind of a like a mind game. So if I, like in my case, what I do is I find a problem. I I try to innovate a solution, and when I innovate the solution, I develop in such a way that it's financially viable and it can be implemented. And again, when I switch to my entrepreneurship, when I run my company, I face a lot of problems, and again the cycle goes back. I try to find a solution and I implement it in my company. So you can bridge the gap between passion and profession by interlinking. So if your passion and passion, of course, it's you cannot opt you can opt, but there will be not so many options, like to choose one particular thing that is very much connected to you. But coming to profession, you can choose which can be related to that your passion, and which and your passion can be helpful in your profession. So I guess that's my take on that.
That's absolutely awesome. Certain situations where we cannot make our passion profession, learn from every experience and implement the experience into both of these things.
Yeah,
Roughly, just a question, how
exactly.
old are you?
18.
Oh my god. So 18, and this answer, I want everybody to type SD on chat box. SD means super duper. Right? I want everybody to type SD on chat box. And in the meanwhile, I would now just hand it over to Ms.
Thank you.
Geeta Shankar for a simple small announcement. Yes, Geeta Shankar, over to you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, hi. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our national president, Dr. T. Vinay Kumar. Sorry you weren't welcomed earlier. And Mr. M.B. Jairam, Chairman Emeritus, is also there. We are welcoming you late. Thank you for joining. And then Dr. T.S. Lata is here, Bangalore Chapter Chairperson. Avinash Gawai, Young Communicators Club, National Secretary is here. Thanks, Avinash. And then we have Mr. Ravi Mahapatra. Wow, one of our seasoned PRCINs and from Kolkata. And we have Frederick Michael from Hyderabad. And we have our most trusted friend who disciplines himself for coming for all a webinar, Mr. Sundaram Pillai. And Ms. Lehari is there. And welcome to all our Bangalore chapter EC members. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. My next question, without wasting time, I would like to move on to Mr. Saurav. I want Mr. Saurav to come on Spotlight, who basically spoke about the future of youth in community-based services. With regards to the same thing, as a continuation, I want to ask you this question: how community-led development can help create new young leaders? So basically, if the movements that kind of thing that you are doing, how can it help creating young leaders? So if you could throw some light on the same thing, it would be amazing.
Yes, the thing is, like you are talking about, whenever we are talking about leaders, then then it is very must to be there. Like a core factor is social inclusion. So here, like due to multiple social issues in rural and urban areas, like gender abuse, child labors, like domestic violence. So these all these things are actually disrupting the mental growth of our youth. So in this very particular scenario, if we approach the social development led by the community, then we can address the entire society by implementing a single developmental project only. So and community-led development will assist to develop the social inclusion as well. So and the social inclusion helps to create leaders. So this is the algorithm. This is the flowchart that we need to follow actually. So this is what, like I just want to say about it.
What a formula you gave, yeah? Superb.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
That's absolutely amazing. So if it is absolutely amazing, I want everybody on the chat box to type AA, which actually means absolutely amazing. I am ensuring that all of you are not restless there. I don't want you to be sitting and watching. I want everybody to be interacting with me, because we all are learning something new. That's awesome, right? So one important question before we move ahead: how many of you want to ask questions right? After I ask questions, it is definitely time for all of you all. You definitely, some of you will be having questions. If you have questions, I want you to type HQ so that I get to know how many people are having questions. And after all of them are done, then we can get into question of all of yours, right? Super. So next, without wasting much of time, I would like to bring Andrea on spotlight. And Andrea, I want you to ask. I want to ask you a very, very important question. Right. Okay. Lovely. We have also have people who are having questions. So panelists, be ready. Right. After mine, it is their chance. So my question is basically, one of the things that is discussed a lot these days are basically about women, coming forward. Right. According to me, both men and women are the same, but many of the times, in the society, there is this particular thought that there is mostly male domination in all of these things. And definitely at one point or the other, there is some difficulties that any woman will face. Right. So coming to the question, this is the context and the background. With this regards, I want you to answer: how do women, right, get ahead in a, in basically in the societies, in some way or the other way we feel that it is mostly a male dominated society and all of these things. How do women get ahead? How do women face challenges, and how do women make it to the top? I want you to explain this particular thing to me, being an entrepreneur yourself.
Well, the challenges in the personal life, I'm not going to get into. Let's just talk about the professional challenges that I have to face. The first thing I think women should do is we need to speak up. I don't think enough women speak up. We should not wait for somebody to recognize our potential and our ideas. And I think we need to be a little more vocal about it, because you can't just wait for someone to come and recognize you. And you could do this whether it's a group meeting, or you could have a one-on-one with your boss. In whatever way, you got to be vocal. And don't be that yes woman, right? In some of the industries that I worked in, it was tremendously there was a lot of pressure. And there was a pressure to keep the plate overflowing, as you'd call it. And it's all too easy to say yes to all the projects in order to want to be the ideal employee. But I think if you don't say no, if you don't say no enough, you'll end up hurting yourself and the company. Playing to your strengths, I think, is very important. Even if it's a stereotype or a cliche, For example, my boss once asked me how the new joinees in the company were doing. And I can bet my life on it that he asked me that because I'm a woman and we are supposed to understand feelings better. Instead of taking offense, I did what he asked me to do. And that was the beginning of a mutually beneficial, professional relationship. So I think that emotional aptitude, empathy, socializing, den mother, if you may, if you have these strengths, you're actually displaying qualities of a rising leader. And I think we need to embrace that. Yes.
Thank you so much for that golden point. So if it is gold, I want you to type gold on chat box, because I want everybody to be interacting with me. Right? Awesome. Lovely. Keep those coming. And thank you so much, Andrea. That was absolutely amazing. Especially the point which I love the most is we always got to speak up whenever anybody feels, not only women, let us not bring that. But when anybody feels low, the only thing that we got to do is we got to speak up at that particular point of time. And lastly, my last question is for basically, I have a lot of questions, but next I would like to bring upon Dhruti on spotlight. Dhruti, I want you to speak on one particular thing, and I particularly chose you to speak about this particular thing. Why? Because staying abroad is maybe alone is quite a difficult thing, right? So I want you to throw some light on how we can help influence the mental health, and what is its relevance, or what is its important, because this is something that's being spoken a lot today about mental health, right? If you could speak, why did I choose you? The only reason is because we need a lot of strength, with regards to being there, being brave, outspoken, alone, separate from our family and all of these things. So if you could throw some light on this particular thing, it would be absolutely amazing. Yes, over to you.
Thanks so much for that question.
Just 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'll again interrupt you. For people who have questions, definitely after Dhruti, I will be taking your questions. So stop typing your questions. Let us listen to Dhruti, and then I'll come to your questions. Over to you.
Great. Thanks, Ritu. So I think in terms of mental health and mental health policies and what the youth can do to sort of influence it, I think one of our biggest strengths is the fact that we're in an era of instant communication and in an era of an increasingly digital world and a digital climate where there's so much of destigmatization happening and there's so much of sort of unshaming happening around mental health issues and mental health policies and sort of including that in our educational systems, in our workplaces, in just our regular functioning in everyday society. And I think that destigmatization process has to push forward and a sense of common humanity should come in. The fact that not everybody leads a perfect life and not everything looks as picture perfect as it might seem on Instagram or as it might seem on social media, or it might seem just while having a general conversation, and just understanding that everybody goes through pain, everyone goes through hardship, and everyone goes through a wide range of problems that some people might not even understand, and gaining strength from that concept of common humanity and understanding that in the process of recognizing each other's struggles and each other's pains and difficulties, we're able to actually embrace our most unique quality, which is being human and being okay and being imperfect, and actually sort of disintegrating that perfectionistic idea of existing or of living, because I think that is one of our biggest weaknesses, and our strengths lie in our imperfections and in our ability to understand each other and share that feeling of imperfection.
That's lovely. Absolutely great. It's covering two key takeaways that I had. Number one, on the social media, everything is highlighted, and whenever we see social media, we feel everything for everybody is going absolutely awesome. And number two, we got to celebrate. I'll just in the words, but we got to celebrate our imperfections. Come on, not everybody can be perfect. We all have our differences, and in those differences itself, we have great, learnings. I loved the response from Swaroop. So let us all give a platinum to Dhruti, right? A platinum on chat box to Dhruti, please. Awesome. Come on, come on, come on. That's amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are rock stars, right? Now, the third round, I have a very, very interesting round. Right, I want you to type SI on chat box because I have something very, very interesting that I have for all of these six panelists. Now I'm not going to be asking them any questions, right? I'm not going to be asking them any questions. What I'm going to be doing is, according to their profession, right? According to their profession, I will be putting them into certain situations, right? Because many of the times it is not what we learn but how we enact, or basically how we face the situation, that matters a lot. So I will be putting everybody, all the six panelists, in certain situations, and in these situations I want to see how everybody will be acting or responding or anything. It can be also from some of the life experiences that I have learned, which can be a lot of value for all of us, and it can also be certain situations which you might have never faced. My first person whom I want on the spotlight is Mr. Saurabh, right? And everybody on the chat box, right? Everybody on the chat box, I want you to type BIO, which actually means bring it on, right? Because these are certain situations where we will put people into, and we have a lot to learn as well. Lovely, bring those responses. BIO on chat box, everybody. Awesome, Saurabh, are you ready?
Yes.
Awesome. So the first question I have for you, because I also have this personal experience, right? When it comes to mostly communities and all of these things, what happens is when we share certain posts on social media, the kind of responses we see, we feel like tomorrow we'll be the most trending people, correct? And now let me put where I'll put you in a situation, okay? So I'll put you in a situation where you have to address a group of 100 to 150 people. 100 to 150 people you have to address about social service, how we are going to make it big in life, how we all can make a difference to the society. You are also super duper excited where you are making a difference to 100 150 people. You want to move them and all of these things. On the day also, many people would have also commented, power to you, we are with you, and all of these things. But this is something that happens. Only 10% of the people will turn up. Let us assume this. Let us assume, 1,000 people turn up. 150 means 1,500 people should come to support you. But let us assume, if you are expecting a crowd of 150, only 15 people turn up. I'm sure that will be kind of a letdown. But during those kind of situations, what would you be doing, Saurav? I want you to answer.
Yes. In that case, I will start my agenda with those precious 15 people only. Uh, and I would like to give my 100% to them to create a success story, because I believe if we could create a success story, then only we can motivate the rest. So this is what I'll going to do. Yes.
That's lovely, awesome, superb. Even if it is true, let us give the best. I mean, this is one of the lessons that we have also learned from the Bhagavad Gita. You give your best, leave the rest to the God or the infinite power. Absolutely amazing. If it was amazing, I want everybody to type amazing on chat box. Come on, fill up the chat box, fill up the chat box. The power of one, lovely, awesome. Even if it is two people, I want you to create difference, because those two people can create lots of differences.
Yes,
that's lovely. No matter what is the number of people, all you will be concentrating is on making difference. Lovely, Saurabh. Great learning that was. Now I would like to bring upon whom shall I bring on? Whom shall I bring on? Whom shall I bring on? Okay, I'll bring on Swastik on the spotlight video. Swastik, you are a researcher, and one of the conflicts that you or what? Let me not use this word conflict. It will not be nice, right? Let me think of some people who are basically into research, but in a different field. Okay, people like artists, musicians, and all of these kind of people. Suppose, let us assume, I leave you in a room full of artists and musicians, and you got to start a conversation with all of them. What would you be doing?
Okay, that's an interesting situation because I don't know. I know nothing about music and art, so I'm like zero into that. But not artists, but this one situation I encountered actually with the musicians. I was traveling actually. I was traveling, and person sitting next to me was a musician. He was a Veena artist or something like that, and it was boring. So you don't get network, and you have to pass the time, right? I was thinking. I finally started the conversation. What are you doing? He said music, and we went on discussing about the music. But what happened was he explained little bit of music to me, and I found a way where we could use music to diagnose cancer. So these things can happen. So I discussed with him regarding the music, and I implemented those in music. Like he explained that we have saptaswaras, we have this what I can say. I forgot that. We have that pattern of this. We have these patterns. So I implemented the same patterns into a algorithm, and I found a way to diagnose genetic diseases with using that traditional music. So like this kind of incidents will definitely give you an insight, and will definitely give you a better experience as per I know.
Superb. Just summing up your answer, but slightly in a different words. It always means that we have some or the other thing to learn from everybody.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely,
This is something
definitely.
that I would
Yes.
also believe in. Right
Yes.
from a very, very small kid, maybe it is like how to be happy, to the eldest person on the universe, we have something or the other thing to learn. So
Yeah.
learning is a continuous process. Awesome.
Yes.
I
Yes.
also love this response that's come, right? Situations beyond one's control must not be allowed to affect you. Make sure you deliver value to 50 participants. That was the response for the previous questions. Superb. Lovely. But it was an amazing, amazing answer. So we will make it as AA for you, because that means an amazing answer. Come on, people on chat box. I want 65 AAs that's come there. Come on, come on, come on. Next, whom shall I bring upon? I will bring upon Andrea. Andrea on the spotlight video. Andrea, while speaking to you, I understood that you were also a soft skills trainer. Yes?
Yes, yes, used to
Awesome.
be.
So one of the experiences that you were sharing with me was basically when you were working at the Infosys campus at Mysore. You are
Yep.
the youngest, and one of the things as a trainer I would also experience is many people who are elder will have kind of ego, will be feeling like, oh, what is this? And especially as a girl, people will also feel like, oh, what this girl is coming, what she's telling, what she'll understand, all of these things. Right? Many people,
Yeah.
obviously, for commenting what you can
Yep.
watch Twitter and Instagram. You see, people will have no these things to comment. And especially when you were starting your career and when you faced all of these things, how did you feel? I want you to just explain.
I'm going to tell you, it was very, very unnerving to walk into my first classroom when I was like 23 years old. And I was probably the youngest trainer, not probably, I was the youngest trainer there was. And when I walked into class, so I'm a little, I'm short and I'm very small. Okay. And it's hard for you to take someone like that on stage very seriously. And I understand that. But I was more nervous than anything on the planet when I walked into that classroom. But give it a few seconds, and you know what happens. I realized that you got to develop a mutual respect, with your trainees. And what how you can earn that respect is essentially through knowledge, and also you have a thirst to learn from your trainees, and also have a little bit of faith in yourself, right? So, but primarily, I think it was my command over the language of English, because that was what I was pretty much training on. I was so confident about that they could see that I was knowledgeable, and also made the class very fun and interactive. And it was actually a lot of fun. And I think what I would tell everyone out there, it's not just because I'm a trainer, just generally, I would say that have a little bit of faith in yourself. Get out of your comfort zone, push yourself. You have no idea where you'll find yourself. You would be surprised at yourself and what you can actually achieve. And today I stand here very surprised with what I have done, and I'm very proud of myself. And I hope that I can inspire more people to do the same.
Absolutely amazing, Andrea. Every time I come to you, I learn something new. And this time what I learned was faith in self. Right? I want everybody on the chat box to type FIS. Right? This time let us not appreciate her, but let us learn something from her, which I think is an appreciation. FIS is faith in self. Right? And let us have those faith in self. And I'm sure one day when this is some kind of a difference, we message Andrea when she's free, right? We will tell her thank you so much, this is one thing that we learned from you. I'm sure she will feel absolutely accomplished and blessed. Yes, just show me a thumbs up if yes. Lovely, superb. So next I have a question for Dhruti. Bring on Dhruti on spotlight, please. Dhruti, do you understand something called as imposter syndrome? So basically, just for our audience sake, for to make this word a little more easier for our audience, imposter syndrome in very, very simple terms is basically fear of accomplishments. Right? Many of the times, for example, you can start off a journey of entrepreneurship also, but when we start, for the outside world, everybody will be praising, but within us only there will be some kind of fear. And I'm sure, Dhruti, when you moved, for the outside world, everybody was like, oh my God, you're studying abroad in United Kingdom, University of Edinburgh. Everybody will be so proud. But within, there will be some kind of fear. It will be saying, oh, what if I'm not successful? What if this happens? What if that happens? Oh, only if this happens, that happens. Many of the time these questions comes, right? You're young, you're dynamic, and I'm sure you will be super successful. But with this kind of syndrome, which, within which is there and all of these things, how do you face it?
That's a very interesting question, because I think it's something that, regardless of what sort of level you're at or what sort of position you're at, everyone faces it at some point or the other. I think imposter syndrome is just a larger manifestation of self-doubt and your own insecurity sort of projected outside, which is very fair, because I think when you accomplish something and suddenly you're put into the spotlight and a lot of attention is given on your success by society, you suddenly question whether you're actually deserving of it, and whether it's actually you and your efforts. Well, I think in one sense it isn't, because it's a lot of other factors that come into play to help you um, achieve what you have, and sort of gathering that sense of, well, everyone struggles. I'm not the only one in this perfect position. I'm not the only one with success, and actually empathizing and bringing yourself down, and and showing your humanity, and showing that, well, yes, I may have gone abroad to study, but I very much have my own struggles. Yes, I might have done some really good internships, but I still have my own struggles. Yes, this person might be the CEO of this company, but they're still very much human, and they still very much require things like food and water and sleep to sustain themselves on a regular basis. And actually sort of deconstructing that whole system of placing certain people at perfect places and trying to achieve that, and actually saying, well, no, we're all in this together, and we're all sort of striving towards something and making effective contributions, and doing it with a lot of collaboration as well. I think that would actually really help with bringing one's imposter syndrome down.
That's lovely, Dhruti. And I want everybody here in the audience to type PTY on chat box. And absolutely, I'm so mesmerized to learn so many things. Now, I want everybody to type on chat box LSN if you are learning something new. Right? LSN, learning. Definitely, we learn from all of them that there is so much to learn. So type LSN, which actually means learning something new. I want to see how many people out of 60 plus people here. I want to see how many responses are coming. Come on. Superb. My next two questions are, where I'll be putting the next two speakers in situation are something, which is very, at least the next person, something that I'm going to be asking is a, I don't know, very personal question, but I really want to know, out of lots of curiosity is what I want to ask. Thought-provoking LSN. That's lovely. Awesome. That is Mohan. Right? That's amazing, sir. Super. Yes. So next I would like to bring Father Vineet on spotlight. And Father, please don't mind. I'll be asking you a very personal question. Right?
No,
as far as what I understood, you had a very great career. Right? And definitely as people, we will be having lots of dreams and all of these things. It is not that now also you don't have, but in the midway, on one particular day, you decided that you will be, wanting to be a priest, right? And I'm sure these kind of decisions, maybe some of them would have thought about it. Some of them it'll be kind of a drastic kind of a decision. And many of the times when we take that decision, any decision, it can be even buying a refrigerator to our home. After 1 week, some of the time you feel, okay, I think I made a wrong decision. Someday, I could have waited, bought a new. Out of refrigerator only, we feel that. When you decided that you wanted to be a priest, a very personal question, did you ever regret that decision?
Okay. Good question. No, many people have asked me this question, especially the second part of it, whether you regret being a priest, that decision. Well, like most of the audience who are attending this webinar, in my adolescence, I too aspired to have a great career. And by God's grace, soon after my degree, I was more serious about my studies. Until then, I was just a mediocre student, getting only 50 to 60% of marks. But from my degree onwards, I started focusing more on my career, and I wanted to have a good career. So with that thing in mind, I used to work hard on my subjects, on my knowledge, as well as my skill sets. And eventually that helped me to enter into a good career, I would say. Well, I worked for a couple of Fortune 500 companies in the beginning, but still I was not satisfied. I thought I should get into a central government job in an officer cadre level. So with that in mind, I used to apply to various vacancies which used to come in the media, whether it was banks or railways or LIC, different kinds of opportunities. But then these opportunities used to come in their thousands and hundreds, but still I never got through any of them. But still I never lost my hope. I was still hopeful that one day I will get a government job. And there was one advertisement which I saw which had only one vacancy all over India, and that was meant for me. Okay, I got that government job. I got in as a public relations officer in Power Grid Corporation of India Limited. And there, at the age of 24, I entered my service as a government servant. And I would say most of you know this theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. about motivation, he says there are 5 stages of motivation in one's life based on one's needs. So basic thing is the first stage is the physiological needs, second is the safety and security needs, third, social needs, fourth, esteem needs, fifth is self-actualization. So at the age of 24, I stepped on to the fourth stage. Okay, I had a very secure and well-paid government job. So I had already reached that esteem needs wherein I had all the honor, I had all the money, everything was there in life, security, everything was there. So now I questioned myself, what next? And then I thought this is my stage in life where I need to plunge into the fifth stage, that is self-actualization. So I decided one fine day to quit my job and then get into priesthood so that I could serve God and serve human beings. So that was the goal with which I entered into priesthood. And coming to the second part of your question, whether I regret it, I don't regret it. I never regretted it so far, touch wood, by God's grace, because I am enjoying what I like to do. And I see sometime back in the webinar also it was told that make your passion your profession, and that is what I have done. I was passionate about being able to intervene in the lives of others and make a difference in the lives of others. I'm able to do that now as a priest and as a professor in the college to touch the lives of students. So that is what I love to do, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm very happy and contented.
That's
Thank you, Ritu.
absolutely loving, and that's absolutely touching as well. Beautiful answer. And, I feel blessed many of the times when service becomes one of your passion, and when you move towards it, I think very few or very minute percentage of people in the world can take such a brave step and also not regret. You just said, touch wood, you have not regretted. I will, I along with all the people here would definitely pray that you will continue to serve thousands, millions of people out there.
Thank you, Ritu.
Right?
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And now I have something interesting for the audience before I move ahead and put Ms. Aarti on a particular situation. So what we'll be doing is, audience, I am also noting down if you have any questions for any of the panelists, right? So, there are a lot of people. I will be filtering there again. If the questions I feel are repeated and all of these things, I won't be asking. If you have any questions, I want you to type those questions on chat box so that we will be ready to ask those questions to all the panelists. Now, this is for the audience. Now coming to Aarti, let us put Aarti on spotlight. Aarti, understanding that you were a very young teacher, right? And being a young teacher is kind of a difficult job. Why? Because even I was being put into that situation. And we somehow be in both of the situations where we will also be naughty students. We will also get to be in that position of a teacher. And when you are in a position of teacher, you will feel okay. One day when you were a student, you are troubled your teacher. That is why all the students are troubling us now. For many of them, this might be a feeling. But Aarti, I want to ask you, right? Coming on a very serious note, I want to ask you, when you were in that position of teaching, I'm sure there will be a lot of students who would have even teased you. Bullying would have happened. Many people will not be listening to you, and you would have come there with lots of dreams. And looking at all of these things, did you ever get shaken up? And how did you manage these kind of situations?
Okay, what a situation actually. So yes, I've been in these kind of situations, but I think when I start my classes, these kind of situations do come to me. Yes, if I think they think that they can bully me until I took my first class. Like, uh, actually, what I do is in my first class, some kind of nervousness is there, but I stay calm and serious. Serious in a matter that serious in a sense that I'm disciplined and I prepare a lot for that class. I do lots of homeworks, honestly, yes. And to prepare for the class, so after my first class only, there will be, I think, no such issues like that. That's for sure, and will go well. So I'm disciplined, and later, of course, I just gel up with them later on. But
in the first class, I act like I am a very serious kind of teacher, and I act very calm. I try to be calm and very disciplined. But later, after a few days, yes, of course, uh, I just gel up with them, and I'm a friendly and confident teacher, as they say. Yes. So these kinds of situations I've handled. Yes, over to you, Ritu. Did I answer you well?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Aarti. I
Okay.
want everybody on the chat box to type PTY. PTY on the chat box. All the participants, I want you to type. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, all of the 6 panelists. And now, we'll be moving ahead where, I will be giving the option to audience to ask any questions. And since I see that there have been no questions, what I want everybody in the audience to type is, I want everybody in the audience to type one key takeaway that you have had. Right, from all of these speakers that you have had, I want you to type the speaker name and I want you to tell what is that one learning that you have had. Professor Vinod Kumar sir has actually told, naughtiness in students is a sign of intelligence. Your sincerity and knowledge will make a difference to students' lives. Ergo, all naughtiness will change to cooperation. Superb. So we have come, we got one question: is working hard in life important or smart work is important? I would like to bring upon whom do I bring on? Whom do I bring on? Whom do I bring on? I will take two perspectives, one from a very young person in this set of panelists, and one from a slightly elderly person. I'm sure they'll be very young. Okay, we got two questions. Super. My first set of question. So basically, is working hard in life important or is working smart in life important? I would like to ask this question firstly to Father Vineet, and then I would like to ask the same question to Swastik Padma as well. Right, so I want to know both perspective. One from a very elderly person who has a lot of experience, and one from a very young person. Yes, sir. Very quickly.
Yeah. See, working hard or working smart. I would say working smart is very important, but at the same time, you have to work hard in what you choose. You have to choose smartly and work hard on that. Okay. So this is a combination which many times is not there. Sometimes we choose unwisely and then we struggle with a lot of hard work and not able to reach the goal. So I would like to put it this way: choose smart and work hard. Thank you. Ritu, I'm done with the answer.
Awesome. I loved this answer of it is very important for us to smartly choose to how to work hard. That's amazing. Lovely. Yes, Swastik.
Yeah, I guess I too had the same perspective on that. Yeah, like working smart and working hard, you have to maintain a balance, and if you follow only one, you'll not get the result. And one thing is, if you work hard or work smart, but one thing to keep in mind is be patient. That's my one of the thing I learned after working smart and working hard, to be patient. And I guess I answered the question.
Super, both of you. PTY to both of you. Next question is for how do you handle adversity and doubt? I would like to ask this question to Andrea. Andrea on Spotlight. After Andrea, I would also like Saurav to throw some light on the same thing. Firstly, to Andrea, how do you handle adversity and doubts?
Hi, Rutu. Thank you. I think that we work really hard. Like, let's talk about a business idea that we're working on, right? We work really hard. There are so many ideas. You finally zero in on one. You work so hard on that, and it's very natural though to have doubts before you embark on that journey. It's very natural. I had the same problem, right? And what I would suggest is to resist the urge to dive into the deep end, and instead start small as possible, because when you start small and you continue to collect feedback, what you can do is you can change the direction of your business as well accordingly, because you're getting the constant feedback. And also it's a key component for growth, in my opinion, because when I started out, I had a different idea about what I was going to do. And through constant feedback and bouncing off ideas with, off of my family and friends, and also very importantly, you got to bounce off ideas of people who do not like your business idea, because those people are the ones who give you the real feedback, right? And so as you react to the feedbacks and you change your direction, I think it's a very, very good place to be in order to like go forward. Yeah.
That's absolutely awesome. Learn from the feedbacks you get. That is absolutely amazing. Yes, now I would like to ask. I would like to ask Saurav to also contribute to the same thing. How do you handle adversities and doubts? I'm sure these are the times
Yeah.
you will definitely face those. Yes, Saurav.
Yes. The thing is like to handle the doubts, you need to start slow actually. So first of all, you need a very good plan to execute, and after that, you need a very good mind frame to execute it, because every time you do not have proper time to execute a certain job. So all these things can end up your venture into some uh, into some like zero outcome sort of a thing. So you need to be very composed before like whenever you are starting something, whenever you are doing something, then please be composed. So so that's it. So a proper plan should be there before you have start invested your time, because investing money is something else and investing time is also very much important. So be focused, and you have to be and you have to have a very good plan in your hand. Yes.
Absolutely. Like I always say, time management is equal to life management. How and where we invest time will actually determine where our life will be going. Thank you so much, Saurav. Last one question, and I would like to take response from two people. You know who are the two people who are left out, and I will take this question of Tenzin Norbu. Right, so she is the student of Miss Akriti, who is also the guest today, the lovely. So this is a very interesting question that I would like to ask from a teacher and a student. Right, superb it is. So nowadays, young adults get addicted to so many disturbing websites, also kind of bad habits. Right? What do you So what do you think is the best situation where we can get over the same things, or how do you what do you think is the smart way? Firstly, I would like to call upon Ms. Aarti to throw some light on the same thing. Aarti? Yes. You have to unmute, yes.
What's the question actually? It's from
So
Tenzin
many of
Norbu.
students, what do they have? A lot of distractions. It can be distracting websites, bad habits, and addictions, and all of these things. What is your one sentence for them, rather as to how to smartly get over those disturbances and become focused?
Okay, uh, these kinds of stuffs, yeah, they are very much addicted. Like there are so many disturbing things, websites these days. So I think these websites are affecting younger generation, but it's their choice. If they use these things properly, like it's up to them. They should uh, watch
Yes,
these
got it.
kinds of things. It's yeah,
Got it.
it's I think
Super. So basically, what you are trying to say is basically it is the choice of a student. At the end of the day, it is one individual who
yeah,
has
it's
to
their
make a.
choice, but yeah, you should act accordingly. Yes.
Yes, I got it. Lovely. Dhruti, I want you to answer. And then, yes.
Yeah. So I think, well, I mean, sort of building off of what Aarti just said, I think it comes with a sense of self awareness and your wants and your needs and what you want to sort of devote your time to doing. And what can be distracting to one person might be a livelihood to another and might actually sort of help another person. So, for instance, like, say, like digital marketing, so for me it might be a very distracting thing to like constantly scroll through social media, but say for someone who's actually analyzing the field and analyzing social media strategies, it might actually not be distracting. And so it comes with a sense of self-awareness to understand what you're trying to distract yourself from and why you're distracting yourself with a certain social media platform or with any sort of toxic website, and why you're sort of pushing yourself down that rabbit hole, because it might also just be many other intrinsic problems that might actually be manifesting out as the student or the individual distracting themselves from it. So I think there's also a sense of self-compassion and a sense of compassion that has to go in addressing why this person is being distracted and why they're distracting themselves and what is actually more important. It's not just sort of not distracting yourself and removing the website entirely, but to actually understand why you're distracting yourself and to actually understand what you can do otherwise to help solve whatever like intrinsic issue you might be facing.
Thank you so much, Dhruti. That was absolutely amazing. And one of the comments on the chat box also read that you are so matured and you had super duper points that were coming. That's absolutely amazing. And I would completely agree. I want everybody on the chat box, right? We almost came to the end of the program. I want everybody on the chat box to type for all of the 6 of them. YGAA. What does YGAA mean? YGAA means you guys are amazing. Come on, I want everybody to type YGAA. That's absolutely amazing. Superb, superb. It was an absolutely thrilling and a beautiful session. Now, one sentence, quickly that we'll have to finish. You never knew that almost we have passed like 1 hour, 40 minutes since the session. Quickly, one by one, I would like to call upon everybody, all the 6 panelists, and I would, like you to conclude by telling maybe what is your one key takeaway or maybe a thanking note or whatever it is. So I will call upon each audience quickly in a sentence or two, not more than that. In a sentence or two, I want you to conclude. Firstly, starting off with Andrea.
Hi. I'd like to thank PRCI and YCC for giving me this opportunity to be part of such an esteemed panel. I feel quite humble compared to the rest of the people on my panel. I'm still a newbie in my entrepreneurship, and I feel very, very honored to have been given this opportunity to be part of something so amazing. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And now I would like to move upon and call upon Father Vineet.
Thank you. I thank the YCC and also Geeta ma'am for having chosen me for this panel discussion. During this lockdown, I have given many webinars, but then those were single standalone webinars and also on topics related to management and commerce. This was first time I was invited for a panel discussion like this on a general topic and with the panelists who were so esteemed and so nice, so expressive. And also I would like to mention here that I feel very young today. I have already entered my 40th birthday was last month. So I have already entered my 40s and still I feel young because I've been invited as a youngster in this panel. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Lovely. You made this youth day even more youthful with that particular statement, and happy birthday to you. Right now, let us move on to Saurav. Saurav.
Hello.
Yes, Saurav.
Am I
We can
audible?
hear you. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you everyone. Thank you PRCI. Thank you YCC for having me here. And thanks everybody for being here. Everybody is like very, very informative and very collaborative, like in this very particular panel. And thank you. Thanks a lot. And especially I would like to thank Ritu for being so humble. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Lovely. So now let me move on to Aarti.
Okay, so my take-home message would be that I really enjoyed a lot today. That this is extremely a fun-filled webinar. I've viewed that. I should say that always webinars should not be always only serious and sophisticated like that. It can be also fun-filled like this. That it's all because of Ritu, I think. You are the one, you are the main man today. Okay, so it was really knowledgeable as well, and also great experience sharing from all of us. So I'm extremely happy that I made friends over here, because of this, and I would like to congratulate PRCI and YCC for organizing such a great webinar. And I consider myself very lucky. In fact, I'm very much honored. I'm feeling like this, that I got chance to participate here. So thank you all once again. I really enjoyed a lot.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Lovely. I came in a specific order. Lastly, I wanted to, I had two questions. Number one, Dhruti, I want you to come over. I
Yeah,
want to
I'm
know
here.
who's the youngest among Swastik and you. Who's the youngest?
I think it's probably Swastik.
Okay, that's okay. Interesting. Yes, over to you.
Me or Swastik?
Yes, you.
All right. I think one of my key takeaways from this panel is the fact that like I was actually having this discussion with my friend and my parents the other day. It really bursts your bubble. The fact that you're on a panel with people who have had completely different experiences than you have, and you can still hold a discussion. And it's so important to sort of take this message into our everyday lives and to hold conversations with people who we don't normally engage with, who we don't normally have conversations with, and to hold it with compassion and to hold that sense of curiosity and that sense of compassion in having conversations with everyone around you, and to actually diversify the kind of opinions and the kind of thoughts that you would receive. So, but other than that, thank you for having me on this panel.
Awesome, lovely. Swastik, the youngest. Yes, Biro.
So, first of all, I thank you for this opportunity, and big thanks to Rutu for such a wonderful moderation. And to be frank, I have learned a lot of new things. So it was not like I never felt like I was a speaker, because I learned a lot of things. And thank you for all the other speakers, and it was very good, nice meeting you all. And finally, I would like to say all the best to all the viewers, and in their future endeavors, and in these difficult times, stay safe. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. That is super duper lovely. And I want everybody on the chat box, everybody, 50 plus people, I want all 50 responses coming now. I want everybody to type fabulous on chat box, right? Because this was a fabulous time. And my key takeaways before I finish off is basically have a little faith in yourself, convert your mess into a message, have love and mutual respect, and it is absolutely great to have little imperfection. There is a lot to learn. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Before you leave, there are a few more important things. I would now like to hand it over to Geeta ma'am, and I would also like to thank PRCI for such a wonderful experience. And like you see on chat box, there is a lot of fabulous that's coming. Geeta ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Rutu. That was a great job, and thank you so much, all the participants. Now, before I invite Avinash Gawai for the vote of thanks, I would just like to announce, on the 14th and the 15th of this month, Hyderabad chapter is organizing webinars, and we would like participants to take part in it. On the 16th, we have a webinar by Kerala chapter. On 19th, this month, August 19th, we are celebrating the World Humanitarian Day, and Bangalore chapter, it is an international day, and Bangalore chapter is hosting this event. Please join us in large numbers. And again, I think on the 16th, there's a special program for the youngsters from the Delhi PR chapter. But it's on a Sunday at 11:30. A travel guru, young man, Varun Vagish, would be there on the webinar. And so please try to join and make all the webinars very eventful. Well, I request Mr. Avinash Gawai, National Secretary of Young Communicators Club, to do the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Indeed, it was really youthful interaction amongst us, and absolutely with great takeaways and inspiration. I am really thankful to the panelists, Dhriti Chakravarti, Mr. Swastik Padma, Miss Andrea Aruna Anthony, Mr. Saurav Mukherjee, Father Vineet George, Aarti Shilpakar, and all the office bearers, especially our Chairman Emeritus, Mr. M.B. Jairam, our PRCI National President, Dr. Vinay Kumar, our PRCI YCC's National Chairperson, Mrs. Geeta Shankar Ma'am, and all the chapter chairmen and important office bearers of PRCI. And especially, I'm really grateful to the student and all the participants for this really interesting webinar. On behalf of PRCI YCC, I'm thankful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Avinash.
Yeah.
Thank you, Avinash Gawai. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, audience, for this absolute lovely meeting. We will be waiting to see all of you all really soon. Thank you so much. We will wait for all of you to leave. We have come to the end of the webinar, and we will see you for the next webinar. Thank you so much. We'll wait for everybody to leave, and then we'll
Yeah, Rutu, I would like to thank our YCC event coordinator, Mr. Saurabh, for this uninterrupted, a beautiful webinar which went on very smoothly, and at the same time also hosting it in Facebook. Thank you so much, Mr. Saurabh. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Rutu, thanks to all the participants. Thank you very much. We enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.